Good morning, everyone. I am back from break. We are about to start a very exciting week of streams, including the continuation of Elden Ring DLC, continuing my journey with Bison, the newly released character in Street Fighter 6, some chill vibes, maybe a new game this week. Lots of good stuff. To start that week, let's have a fun podcast full of news. That's right, we have a lot to talk about. And in a very rare turn, I promise you this will be rare, I feel is my duty as an American citizen and an intelligent human being to say a few words about last night's presidential debate between former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden. So all this and more, what more could you ask for on the first episode of the Level 1 podcast for this week? Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, the 28th of June, 2024. It is a brand new week here on DSPGaming and, of course, on my other channels as well, DSP Reacts and DSP Throwback. I'm excited for what we have in store this week because we have two awesome things continuing with the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC in Elden Ring, as well as me continuing to try out the new character Bison in Street Fighter 6, which, if you can believe it, was the most successful run I have ever had in Street Fighter 6. That is correct. So far, I'm doing better with Bison than I have done with any character in the game thus far. And that is kind of interesting, exciting, and, you know, kind of hopeful. At the same time, I don't even think I was playing that well with him. I know I wasn't doing optimal things. So, we got all that on the agenda. Plus, Stardew Valley Chill, fun reacting, and I'm likely starting a new late night game this week, and I'm strongly leaning toward it being the Riven remake on PC, which we're going to talk about here on the show. So, we have a lot of stuff going on this week, right? It's going to be a jam-packed week full of content, full of fun. I'm very excited for this week. What I'd like to do is briefly recap what I did on Wednesday. And then what we will do is basically go into the Phil's Day Off segment, which will be where I talk about these politics things. And then we'll do the schedule. And then we have a bunch of game news. Okay? So, Wednesday was an awesome streaming day. Okay? Basically, I played with Bison all day long in Street Fighter 6 as he was newly released. And I'm just going to say this. Unlike a lot of other characters who I've been using in Street Fighter 6, who are throwback characters, some of the original cast, right? I feel like Bison actually does kind of play more like Bison from the old days, as opposed to, like, you take a look at a character like Blanca. Like, he doesn't play anything like old school Blanca used to. Maybe he has one or two things that are similar to how he used to be played, but for the most part, he is redesigned and retooled from the ground up. With Bison, a lot of his moves and or strategies are kind of similar to things that, hell, you would have been doing back in the day in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Now, of course, there's many different twists and variations to this because of all the new systems in place in Street Fighter 6, but this is really cool that me just jumping in day one into a character, right? And by the way, I hadn't researched him. All I had done is seen that character trailer when they had announced him a few weeks ago. I hadn't watched other people playing with him. I didn't study any videos. I just jumped right into it on Wednesday, basically cold. The fact that it kind of clicked right away and immediately I was starting to pick up on and use strategies and things was really, really neat. And the funny part is, you know, that was just day one stuff. That was not optimal stuff. I was not doing optimal combos. I was not doing good corner juggles. I didn't even know what they were, you know, to do that. Now, having watched some videos on my day off, all right, I actually have kind of studied up and I know optimal combos. I know corner strategies for sure. I know some interesting things. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. And play more with him. So because you might be saying, well, what happened? Well, we started off on the day stream basically doing his character tutorial, his combo trials, and then we went online with casual play. And with casual play, I did really good. But I mean, it was casual play. It was launch day. Not everyone even knew, what the character was capable of. So FYI, so on the first stream of casual play, ever playing with Bison, 44 wins and 9 losses. An 83% win rate with M. Bison the first time I touched him. But it was casual play, admittedly. And there was people I was playing who were like way lower rank and stuff. But still, it was pretty dang good. Okay? Then on the late stream, I did more casual. And I did 10 wins and 4 losses. Then I jumped into ranked. Okay? Which I'll be honest, I actually did have a very slow start with ranked my placement matches. I think I won the first 4, lost like 3 or 4, and then I won the last 2 or something like that. So they ended up putting me in 3-star diamond, and I was very upset about that because I did feel like I kind of got screwed over with a lot of the matchmaking and everything with the way that it was done. And I didn't feel like it was representative. I did feel like I should have just started in 5-star diamond, especially based on my performance earlier in the day. But that's just how it is. It's bad luck, right? But I'll be honest with you, in retrospect, I'm actually happy that they started me in 3-star diamond. Why? Because it gave me an opportunity to basically learn the character at a lower level before I get to the 5-star diamond grinding tryhards who are trying so hard to get to master and are playing their mains and doing their pattern play horseshit. Instead, I got to play people who weren't so good, but I got to learn and adapt on the fly, get some matchup knowledge, right? That's always a good thing. If I had gone right into the 5-star diamond level, it might have ended up being exactly what happened with Akuma last month, where I just couldn't even get a single win, and it just feels like a waste of a night because I can't do anything with the character at that level, right? So, jumping into the 3-star diamond level of ranked, okay? I played all night, basically, and I got 43 wins and 17 losses. A 72% win rate. That is my best win rate ever with any character in the game, even when the game launched over a year ago. And I started playing with all the characters that first week. And remember JP. Do you remember how dominant I was with JP on the first day I used him? Well, guess what? I had a 71% win rate with JP, but I had a 72% win rate with M. Bison. So I actually have bested my best ever, okay? I went all the way from 3-star diamond base through that rank, halfway up 4-star diamond in like 90 minutes. That's how many wins I was getting. I was dominating everyone I played. There were a few exceptions. I still don't really understand the Cammy matchup. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that match. She still beats my ass. Every other character is like, oh, okay, I'll handle this. And then Cammy comes out, I'm like, I don't get it. Everything she does stuffs everything. Everything combos for free, giant damage. She never fucking runs out of drive meter. She's safe after every move. I just don't get it. I don't know what you're supposed to do to her. But outside of her, okay, outside of her, I actually did really, really, really well. And by the end of the night, if you tally it up, I had 97 wins and 30 losses with M. Bison. Okay, that's overall modes and everything. All right, so a very promising start. I have watched videos of 2 or 3 different players using Bison. I've seen some more optimized combos. All right, that I'm not. I was doing a combo, a lot of medium punches. You don't have to do that. You can actually put roundhouse in there for a little bit of extra damage, and it's pretty much just as easy. It's just muscle memory, remembering to do the roundhouse first. So I got to start to try to implement that tonight. And basically what I'm not doing is anything corner combo-ish. Corner combos are very powerful with M. Bison. Basically, anytime in the corner that they juggle, you can do a forward heavy punch, which is overhead, into his hands to juggle, and you can cancel the level 3 super. Or if they have a mine on them, meaning you already hit them with the hands, you can actually do an EX version, or I say OD version of the Psycho Crusher. This not only does massive damage, but creates a juggle state that then allows you to do a second juggle after the fact. So basically, it's like, in the corner, he is dominant. If he hits you once and you're in the corner, you're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I'm going to get crushed. What's funny is I'm watching people use him so far. Keep in mind, he's only been out for 2 days, not even. No one has really implemented the head stomps or the fadeaway punch yet. And I think that it's really strong. the thing is, you need to figure it out, and that's what I'm trying to do. If you didn't notice, when I was playing with Bison, I was trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to use this? How are we going to use the stomp? How are we going to use the fadeaway punch to bait people and get these hits? Because if they have a mine on them and you hit them with those, it's additional damage, and it juggle state. So I think I want to try to figure that out. The more I play, maybe I can be an earlier adopter of using that aerial style game rather than just being ground mid-screen, kind of rush down style. But I really like Bison. I'm gonna stick with him for now. Already based on day one performance, people are like, "Oh, he should be your main. He should be your main." And I'm like, "Well, hold on. Let's hold our horses here. Like literally, he rides a horse. Let's hold the horse for now. I've only played with him once, right? This is not, and I was playing a lot of people in casual. It was day one. No one knew how to handle him. It very well could be within a few days. Everyone figures this character out, and now he gets bodied by certain strategies or whatever, right? So let's not go crazy here. Let's not jump the gun, all right? But at the same time, yeah, that's a pretty dang promising start for what we did there. And I am excited to use him again later tonight, which we'll talk about when we get to the schedule. Okay, so anyway, Wednesday was an amazing day. Fun. I will say this, though. I got tilted during the late stream for sure. Like, I got really heated when I got the 3-star placement. And then I started playing matches, and things just kept going wrong for me. And I got really upset. And I basically had to step away for 10 minutes. I took a 10-minute break when I was so upset, and I had a string of losses. And then after the 10-minute break, I went back, and I literally recovered and just started doing really well. So I feel like I need to do that now whenever I'm playing Street Fighter, even if it's in the middle of a part. If I'm starting to get really upset, I do need to calm down, because when I'm not calming down, I actually play worse, Taking that break and just talking with you guys for a few minutes, it really helped me. And by the way, I was saying my eyes, right? So here's what happened. After playing Street Fighter all day, my eyes do get strained. I think it's because the game has this really vivid color scheme. Like, let's be honest, neon colors all over the fucking place, the paint, the explosions and everything. But at the end of that night, that final hour of gameplay, my eyes were like significantly bothering me. They were burning, and I was having a hard time focusing. Like right now, I can look at the chat. I can see everything you guys are saying, no problem. I can look over here at this screen, no problem. TV isn't on yet, but everything's fine. What I was doing, I was playing Street Fighter, then I looked at here, the whole chat was blurry. I was like, oh God, can't even see, And I don't know, it could have been a million things. It could have been like the adrenaline and the blood pressure pumping up. It could have simply been staring at Street Fighter all day, because that happened last year too, when I was playing Street Fighter for entire days last year. By the end of the day, again, I was feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? So here's what I'm going to do. Number one, if this starts happening, if I get heated, I need you guys to call me out in chat, and I'm serious about this too. If you see me start to really get agitated, say, Phil, you're getting really agitated. We're doing this for your own good. Please calm down and take a break. And I will. But I need people to call me out on that so I can I can recognize it. Because you know me, I'm stupid and I get so angry. I'm just in that moment. I'm not paying attention to anything, In addition, I have purchased I almost said purchased a smart TV. No, I didn't purchase a smart TV. I have purchased eye drops, 2 different kinds. And I actually have one here in the office that I will use when I need them. If my eyes start to burn or wig out or have issues. Because some days here, I'm just sitting here and I say, oh, my eyes. I say, oh, like pollen blew in or something, because I have my air conditioner on all day. And it's very possible pollen could come in and hurt my eyes. I'm going to use this to lubricate my eyes and try to make them feel better. I haven't had eye drops in ages. So I got this one in here, and I actually have ones in the bathroom that's a different brand. So I'm going to alternate between the two and see which one is better. This one is Refresh Optive. Oh my God. I was going to tell you what the active ingredient is, but I don't think I can read that word. It's got more syllables than I think the fucking dictionary has in carboxymethylcellulose, sodium, carbethylmethylcellulose sodium, and glycerin. So it's basically eye lubricant, right? I got a completely different one in the bathroom. I've already put eye drops on my eyes for today, and they already feel much better. So I'm going to start doing, especially during this allergy season, I'm going to start doing this more regularly, because I actually feel like this is going to make my eyes feel better and not have the strain that I had. It's on me, but man, these games too. I don't know how people fucking play that game all day. It literally made my eyes bug out. I can't see. Fucking been watching this all day. It was funny because as soon as I was out of this office and I went downstairs and I relaxed with Kat, my eyes were perfectly fine. Just I needed to get out of the environment of staring at that bright shit and this ring light and everything in my face all day. You know what I mean? So anyway, some improvements, eye drops I think will help. Taking breaks when I'm heated will help. So tonight, if I get heated on the late stream, I need you guys to cool me down. Say, hey Phil, this is for your own good. Please calm down, okay? And I promise you, because some people are like, oh, do it at your own risk. I'm not gonna sit here and ban people because people are trying to be nice to me and do the right thing and tell me to calm down, okay? I swear to you, I'll take it. I'll look at it. Oh, I'll try to acknowledge it. It's gonna be tough. Adrenaline pumping through me, but I'll try to calm down. I'm not going to be banning people and stuff because they're saying, hey, Phil, you're a little pissed off or whatever. Just everyone, I'm more level-headed than that. It's just in the moment, I get so angry. Because you saw, as soon as we sat here for 10 minutes and talked, just chatted, and I went right back, and I dominated. I was getting incredible amounts of wins right after that. So, good stuff. So, like I said, I've watched some videos. I'm going to try some of this corner tech. In fact, what I might do tonight, right before we go online, I might go into ranked for like 5 minutes and just try to practice a little bit because I want to practice these optimal combos and things that I saw. The corner game is so good with Bison, so I need to get on that. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. So anyway, that was Wednesday. All right, now let's talk about yesterday, which of course is a little segment that we like to call Phil's Day Off, where I talk about my day off. Admittedly, yesterday was not that big of a deal. It was a more chill day with my wife. I ran errands, which actually wasn't a long time. I actually had to do less errands yesterday than I usually do, so it was actually a quicker segment of that. We had some Hawaiian food for dinner. Nothing special to talk about there. Hawaiian barbecue we've had before. Spent some time with Jasper, cleaned up the house a little bit, folded clothes, woohoo, right? We watched the end of the season of BattleBots, the 2019 season, which was really fun. We loved the BattleBots show. We've now seen 2 whole seasons. We can't wait for more because there's like 4 more to watch. My wife started playing the Mass Effect Legendary Remastered Trilogy again. Because right now she's trying to play other games. There was this new Robin Hood game that came out on Game Pass yesterday. So it's called like Robin Hood Builders, right? So she's like, I want to try it. She goes to play it. First of all, on the Series S, it runs like shit. It's choppy as hell in a lot of parts. Then it'll get smooth. Then it'll get choppy again. You can absolutely tell that basically this game is made for PC. Every menu looks like a PC menu, hotkeys and stuff, which you can't hotkey shit on console. It just doesn't look very good. The game itself is kind of underwhelming because it looks like it's definitely supposed to be, a game that's played on PC. And then in addition to that, it's incredibly slow paced. It's like, oh, you have to fucking hunger and drink meter, and then crafting. Go chop down a tree, get all those. Go back to your town and build like this tiny little thing. So she played it for like 45 minutes. She was like, this is the most boring, tedious game ever, and maybe if I was playing it on PC, it would be better. But being that it's console and so cumbersome and the frame rate's low, she's like, I'm not playing this anymore. So she's like, what do I want to play? I'm going to play the Mass Effect trilogy again. So she booted it up, and here's the thing. Mass Effect 1, I still think is the best game that they've ever made. Like, Mass Effect 2 is good. Mass Effect 3 is not so good. Mass Effect 1 is just outstanding. It's still to this day. It has some clunky parts to it, like the cover system isn't so good and stuff. But for the most part, Mass Effect 1 looks like best story, best music, best character development, establishing this cool universe of different cultures and stuff. Mass Effect 1 feels like the best effort to emulate Star Trek in a video game, right? Like, that's what it feels like Star Trek. It's really neat. So, she started replaying that, and I watched her play through, like, the first few segments of that. While she's playing it, all right, the presidential debate between former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden happens. And I just happened to be like browsing around in my phone as I was watching her play. And it's showing the video feed. And it's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. You got Donald Trump on the one side. And his face, he looks like he has to take the most wicked shit I've ever seen. Like, it looks like he is about to erupt in his pants. His face is so, right? And then on the other side, you got Joe Biden, and he looks like some kind of a fucking, like walking zombie. Like, he looks like he's prosthetic from, like, a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't even look human. It looks like this would have been a special effect from, like, a 1980s body horror movie. Like, it's a zombie that's about to explode or something. I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is the funniest fucking still I've ever seen in my life. Neither of these guys look like they're human. They look like, you know what I mean? So I showed it to Kat. She bursts out laughing. She's like, all right, let's watch this for like 20 minutes. Let's just watch this debate, all right? Oh my God. You know, as much as I've resisted DS politics, right? I've told you guys that I don't want to be political. I watched it. I was like, dude, I have to say something, right? Like, I absolutely have to say something about this. This is just insane at this point. Like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is just wildly ridiculous. Okay. So, in a nutshell, because I'm not going to talk too long about this, I just want to kind of get my say out there. All right. I don't feel that Donald Trump or Joe Biden are good presidential candidates for our country. I actually feel like they're probably two of the worst fucking people that could possibly lead the United States of America. All right. On the one hand, you got Donald Trump, who is so full of himself and so full of bluster and feeling so immune to everything that he can literally say or do anything and he, nothing happens. He's sitting there saying complete nonsense about stuff that never happened. He's making it up, right? And he's full of shit, what he's saying. But then Joe Biden goes to talk. He's talking like this. Like, literally, this is what he sounds like during the debate. I was like, is he okay? Like, is he all right? Why is he talking like this? Why is he whispering? The whole debate is whispering. Is this how he talks now? He's just that old? He can't even fucking speak anymore? He's supposed to be a fucking leader, and he can't talk. And he's mumbling about things that are incoherent. He said something like, the average American gets taxed 6% of their income, but millionaires only get taxed 1%. Neither are anywhere close to anything realistic or reality. But I think he actually believed what he said. Like, I don't even know what he was saying. Yeah, he actually said, in a sentence, he said, I killed Medicare. He said that. I killed Medicare. You did what? And what's funny is, for the points where it was coherent, okay, they only used those moments to attack each other. Every time that they were asked a direct question, what would you do about the opioid epidemic? What would you do about parents who need help right now raising their kids because money is tight? What would you do about the people who are, the border crisis and immigration? What would you do? Literally, they wouldn't answer the questions. They would just say, yeah, that guy over there, he's a piece of shit. And this guy was, no, actually, you're a jerk and a criminal. Well, yeah, well, you're an old, decrepit piece of crap. Oh, yeah, well, you're a fucking orange fucking man. They would literally, like, go back and forth, just yelling at each other. And that was literally the debate. Like, that was the whole debate. I wish I could say that, like, that was, I'm making it up or I'm exaggerating. Like, they actually refused to address issues that the American people wanted to hear about. And instead, all they could do is attack each other. So I want you to think about that. These are supposed to be the two people who are going to lead our country. One of them will be president after the election. One of them will lead the country. And neither of them have a care in the world about the country. They only care about sitting there yelling at each other like schoolyard children, ignoring all of the issues that actually are present that we care about and we need them to lead us through and help us with. One of them, literally, we know is a problem because he's a liar, he's a blowhard, he's a criminal. He was a criminal before he just got indicted, right? The other one is dead. Like, I don't even believe that Joe Biden is coherent. I think he's literally a puppet. Like, they've got him pumped through so many fucking drugs and shit to even be able to function and live that I would be surprised if he survived another 4 years in office. If he got out of office and was able to live a normal life, maybe he would live longer. But, dude, there's no way this guy's going to be president for 4 more years if he gets reelected. He's not making it, okay? So, for those of you who don't live in the United States, because many of you don't, I know many of you here are international. In fact, more than half of my viewership is international at this point. I know this from looking at demographics. You might say, how in the holy hell is your country run like this? Like, how do you get candidates like that? How are those the best too? They're not. Our country is supposed to be a democracy. It's not. Our country is a sham. Our political system is set up to fool the common people to think we have a democracy. We don't. Here's an direct example why. You will never, ever in the United States of America, with the system as it is, have a common person who is not filthy rich, prominent, or already in politics get voted into a prominent political position. But that's the whole idea of democracy, is that if someone is supposedly has the best ideas or is a good leader, that they should be able to be voted in by the people to lead the country. But that's not possible. In order to actually get into a position of power in the United States, you need to be rich, You need to be famous. You need to already be in a political family or any of those three combinations. Take a look at anyone in fucking politics right now, and that is the case. Very few cases where you see someone who's the oddity who gets into politics and is not one of those three things, okay? So the system's rigged, that there's already an upper class who already stay in power, and everyone under them just has to deal with the system. Because God forbid that we speak up against it. Oh, you're revolting. Wait, what? I just want to reform the system. The system doesn't work. Oh, no, that's a revolt. What? No, we should have a system by which we can improve our political undertakings. Oh, no, go to jail. Oh, okay. What? So that's what I mean. Like, it's such a bad system. That's why we have people who like, wow, how could you have the two worst candidates for president? Because literally neither of them are actually like going to be leaders. They're just going to be figureheads for two political parties that have always been in power here forever. The Republicans and the Democrats. It's that simple. We have two sides who argue, and these are the people who will be there in the position, but it's just going to be them dominating depending on who wins this presidency, So anyway, after seeing that debate, okay, I see this and I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is literally the two people who are going to be president are the worst. So here's all I have to say about it, because I'm going to end this now because I don't want to talk about it all day. I just want to get out of the Phil's Day Off segment and get to stuff that's relating to my content and stuff. Okay? If you live in the United States of America, all right, right now, especially if you saw that debate last night, you may feel pretty pressed. You might feel like there's no hope for this country. You might actually feel like, oh my God, we're doomed. I don't blame you for feeling that way, all right? But here's what I have to say on the subject, and I hope that you will take this to heart. When you go to vote in November for a presidential candidate, don't vote for the person. Vote for what you think is best for the country when it comes to the party that they represent. Allow me to explain. We had Donald Trump as president for 4 years. I want you to think about the 4 years Donald Trump was president and how this country was. Then we just had Joe Biden for 4 years. I want you to think about how the country is right now under Joe Biden. Do you think that the country is better under Joe Biden than it was under Donald Trump? Then vote for Joe Biden. Do you think that the Trump era was better than the Biden era? Then vote for Donald Trump. Don't vote for the person. Vote for the experience we had as citizens in this country during their times as president, because it's representative of how it's going to continue to go when they get in power. You understand? So you can't vote for a candidate when both are bad. Vote for what you think is best for this country. And I could stand here and I could weigh and balance that, but this is not DS politics, right? I could tell you my opinion. It doesn't matter. What matters is for you personally, were you better off under Trump? Are you better off under Biden? Vote for the best candidate based on that, and fuck the person, because who even knows what's going to happen? Like, literally, either of them could croak in office. It's just, we're in a situation where it's just a joke at this point with the way our country is being run. Okay? All right. That's that. That's all I have to say. We're done with that, and now we can move on. I just felt like I had to say something because, my God, that was an embarrassment last night. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's continue, shall we? So, after that ended, we relaxed, we watched some BattleBots, we went to sleep, and now I'm back. So now let us talk about the schedule for the week, and then I have a bunch of news stories to cover for today that are gaming related, not political, okay? First off, today, it is the continuation of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which I'm excited to get back into. As you know, when I played this on Tuesday, we had a really great stream. Going up the giant mountain and taking on Bale, the giant dragon. Epic boss fight, arguably one of the best looking, if not the best looking FromSoft boss fight I've ever seen. It was really fun, especially with the story elements implemented in it. Then we went ahead and went to Castle Ensis, which everyone was demanding that I do. Went through, beat the whole dungeon, beat the boss in 6 tries, 15 minutes, done. And it's funny because, again, online, people were freaking out about this boss, and a lot of people saying it took them like 3-4 hours to beat the boss. It's this simple. What this DLC is expecting you to do is to embrace it. Don't go into this DLC with, oh, well, this is how I played the main game, so this is how I play the DLC as well. I tried that with my magic build, and I got slapped around. Like, just like spanked, like bent over and just on the butt. I got wrapped, right? That's not what they want you to do. They want you to play this as a new game. So when you're going into that, you have to embrace the fact that you're going to find new weapons. You're going to find these Erdtree upgrades. You have to work with that system. You can't expect that what you did previously is going to be working again, right? So, yeah, that's essentially what I've done. I've now started adopting the new weapons, new strategies. Got some Erdtree fragments. I think I'm up to like +7 now. So that's what? A 35% increase to my damage and my damage resistance, because 5% per level of Erdtree. So yeah. And what happened? I ran right the fuck right into this boss room of Rolana. And yeah, she was fun. A fun boss. Interesting. She's a tank. But I've kicked her ass. I have no fear. I'm not worried if people took 3+ hours on this fucking boss. Send her at me. 15 minutes. Slap. Get out of my fucking way. I got other shit to do. I got time to waste on this boss. It's only the second one in the DLC. I'm sure there's worse ones coming, right? So, yeah. I mean, that's really what people have to do. Embrace what the game is handing you. It's handing you a plethora of new weapons. It's handing you a new upgrade system. Respect, embrace, succeed. Don't go into it with the mentality, I'm just going to do exactly what I did in the first game. Oh, the blood build and summon and do all the same shit. Why can't I beat this boss? Because they literally changed the game on it for a reason. They want you to have to adapt and do something different, which we're all going to have to do. So I got these awesome swords from Alana. They look really cool, but I need more decks in order to even use them properly. So I think what I'm going to do for the next 4 levels I gain, I'm going to put it in the decks. I'm going to test the swords out, see how I like them. And if I do like them, I'm going to fully upgrade and respec to use them. Basically, one sword is glintstone and one sword is fire. With the glintstone, you do a big projectile. And with fire, you do a spinning, twirling fire attack that combos. And it looks like it would be really effective against certain enemies and bosses. So it sounds to me like it's great. I don't know, but I really want to use it because it looks so sweet. And plus, a dual sword build just sounds awesome. I'm disappointed because the dual axes that I got were terrible. They're so stubby and couldn't really hit anything. But the dual swords are lengthy and have good reach. So now it sounds like that's kind of what I wanted to do with the DLC to begin with. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go for next, okay? So we will have a stream or two of me still using the kind of anvil hammer build. But then I'll probably switch to those swords and try them out. And hopefully I like them and we'll respec to them too, okay? That's the plan. So today, I've beaten Castle Ensis, and this new area, what is it, the Skidoo Altis opened up. But I don't want to fall for the trap, because I think a lot of people fell for this trap in this DLC. They beat the major story area, and they're like, okay, on to the next, but that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to thoroughly be exploring all the areas. I haven't explored the river in front of the castle yet. Remember, we were doing it from the other end, the south end, but I never explored the whole other end, and I want to see, how do you get down there? How do you go up? I didn't fully explore to the west of the castle. I just went into this one ravine. But there's all this other stuff there. And I want to kind of see what's over there first before we go past Castle Ensis. Okay? So I want to do that first. Let's explore to the west and the river if we can get in there. Let's explore all that stuff in the castle, or before we pass the castle and go to this Skidoo Altis. Because then we're going to skip a lot of shit. You know, I don't want to miss that. So yeah, let's do it. Okay? That's today's stream. More exploring, getting some levels so we could try to use these dual swords and seeing what we find. Okay? Good stuff. Good night on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It's the return of Friday Night Fights. That's right. We didn't have a Friday Night Fights last week because I was doing the whole day of the Elden Ring DLC. Well, Friday Night Fights returns with Bison ranked gameplay tonight. I'll probably maybe do like one match casual to get warmed up, try a few different things, and then go right into the ranked and see if we can continue to climb him up the ranks. Maybe get him to master. Do I think I'm getting master tonight? No, I don't. It's going to be just what happened with Akuma. When I hit 5-star diamond, you hit the try-hard level. All the idiots fucking playing their patterns, mashing buttons, doing easy mode garbage online. I'm going to have to deal with that. But hopefully I can adapt and persevere. We'll see how it goes, okay? Tomorrow will be more Elden Ring on the daytime stream. And then tomorrow night is the return of Stardew Valley Late Night Chill. I'm excited for that, obviously. Stardew Valley's been doing really well in the rotation as a Late Night Chill stream. We've got a good engaged crowd that have been incredibly supportive as I played this game. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Sunday is React Day. We've got the DSP versus the Internet Clip Show on the day stream. We've got the Dark Souls 1 Retro React on DSP Throwback on the late stream. That'll be exciting because we're playing Elden Ring, and then to be able to go back to my very first ever FromSoft experience, see the difference, which is huge and hilarious. That's going to be fun. Monday, Street Fighter 6 will be the daytime stream. Yes, on Monday, Street Fighter 6 will be a day stream of Bison. And then Monday night, if all goes according to plan, I'm going to start a new game, and I think it's going to be the Riven remake on PC. People have looked up the specs, and essentially what's in this PC, my mini PC, is exactly what it needs to run at a decent setting. I don't think I'll be able to go crazy. I'll probably have to play it at 1080p, but I should be able to play it. And I'm excited because I played Myst many years ago. People loved that playthrough. I thought it was really neat. Tons of crazy puzzles and stuff, and I very much might need a lot of help figuring them out, like hints and stuff from people who played Riven. But for the most part, I think it's going to be something different to balance my content. So we'll have these 4 games kind of be balanced, and it'll be a good back and forth, right? Then on Wednesday, we'll go back to, on Tuesday, we'll go back to Elden Ring and Stardew Valley. And then Wednesday, we'll leave it completely open. It could be either Street Fighter or Elden Ring on the day stream, and it could be either Riven or Stardew on the late stream. I'll kind of leave it open. We'll see what we want to do. Okay? And that's a streaming week. Keep in mind, Monday is July 1st. That means that on Monday, I will be redoing my background for the month, bringing in new artwork, and readjusting everything to make it look a little bit different and fresher for the month of July and the summer. Also, keep in mind, that first week of July means patrons, people who pledge to my Patreon, might have some private videos that they want to be made, and I will likely have to take a night stream off, not this week coming up, but the week after, in order to do all those private videos, depending on how many there are. From my knowledge, there might be a few this month, so I definitely am going to probably have to take a night stream off to do them all, but then we get back to normal. But I'll let you know. That would not be this week. That would end up being like next week sometime, and I'll let you know when I have more information on that, okay? The only other thing really going on right now is that we are talking about 2 different things coming up. Number one, there's been some discussion about me doing more variety of content. For example, perhaps building a Lego set or doing some kind of another kind of a game other than video games, and enjoying like a late night chill stream of that with you. We talked about it, and someone was like, how about this is the Lego set? I said, that sounds good. He said, yeah, it only costs $100. I said, that sounds awful. I can't spend $100 on a Lego set right now. You know, maybe if we were to do a late night chill stream like that and it worked and people came out and really enjoyed it because of the interactivity and the difference of me doing something else rather than playing a game, and then it got well supported, then I could use the money from that support to buy the next expensive Lego set, right? But no, I'm not going to initially invest $100 into a Lego set for this experimental stream that very well may not work, right? So I guess we'll see. But that's an idea. Let's keep talking about that. And of course, another idea that we've had that we were talking about was the next marathon, that it should be maybe in late July or early August, and that it should be based on like a summertime vibe and event. And so some different ideas people had for maybe play the Nintendo World Championships game that's coming out on Switch and do challenge runs in that to see how well I can do, because that's all it is. It's literally a game of all challenge runs in classic NES games. Maybe I could do some Stardew Valley, maybe some Street Fighter Online. Maybe another opportunity to toss in a few indie games or rare games that I wouldn't normally play. You know, some food, some booze, maybe a tier maker, because we haven't done a tier maker in ages. We could think of one that's like summer related or something like that. So all these different ideas, let's keep that going. I don't think we'll talk much about it today because I have a lot of news to get to, but this is something to keep in our discussions over the next several weeks so we can start to plan this out, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Guess which dead man gets elected? No, I'm kidding. We're already done with DS politics, I promise you. It's time for DSP News. We have many, many news stories to cover today. First of all, Square Enix has come out publicly saying they are still going to make small and medium scale games as well as AAA titles. This is part of their new pipeline plan. If they define indie games as casual, small, and medium scale, they're going to work hard on those. They can't name specific titles, but they will be continue to making games that are not just major AAA games. The reason this comes out is because there was a statement they had made earlier this year that made it sound very much like they were dumping all small titles and only working on giant games moving forward. And a lot of people were like, well, that's disappointing because they've actually done some smaller scale stuff that's been quite good. And we don't want to see small scale or mid scale games go away. But they're basically backstepping on that statement. Okay? We have a couple interesting stories regarding Nintendo. First of all, Nintendo has come out and said that they are aware that recently there have been a lot of leaks within the company. And so a lot of their big announcements end up being hitting the internet first, and then they have to like formally announce it right away after because it leaked. What they're saying is they're trying to take steps to prevent this from happening moving forward, including working with external companies to try to diagnose the leaks. They have introduced new security systems, and they're trying to further educate their employees about IT security. This sounds to me, they're not saying that there's actually a conscious knowing leak in the company, but that someone possibly might be socially engineering them. Does anyone know what social engineering is? It basically means you fool someone into believing something that's not true, but because they're a human and they're fallible and they're gullible, they believe it, and then they end up giving you something that you shouldn't have. So, for example, there's been instances where someone impersonates someone. They try to fool a customer service rep into thinking there's someone that they're not. Oh, I lost my password and I can't get into my account. You really need to help me out because if I don't get in there, I don't have access to this and this, and I could lose everything and blah, blah, blah. And the person on the other end of the line just gives them the benefit of the doubt rather than saying, no, we have a strict policy saying no about this. And the next thing you know, they get access to the account, and now they're doing all this malicious stuff with it because they shouldn't be in there, but that was their intent to begin with. So, very well could be that there's someone working with Nintendo employees acting like they're a confidant or someone, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I really am this person I say I am, and they're not. And they're using this as a way to get access to this information they shouldn't have, and then they're just tossing it all over the internet, and they're the leak. So Nintendo says they're going to do something. They're going to re-educate. They're going to try to investigate the situation. It's kind of fascinating, honestly, how this is all happening. I mean, how many leaks have we had? We just had one at Rockstar recently, right, for GTA 6, and it's happening very, very commonly now. The era of social media has really changed things for these kind of, digital companies. Everything's just, being spoiled basically ahead of time. And to some extent, you got to understand that, like, an element of surprise is a good thing, right? To actually be able to surprise someone with a great announcement versus, oh, you already knew about it months in advance. It's a shocking thing that could be seen as very positive. So, yeah, I understand the need for secrecy and stuff in these cases. Following up with Nintendo. So, Shinya Takahashi, who I believe he's one of the execs at Nintendo, but I forgot to write down which one he is. He's one of the executives at Nintendo. He said the following: increased development time is unavoidable for video games, but Nintendo is taking steps to address this situation. For example, number one, expanding and hiring more people. And number two, focusing on making more AA games rather than AAA games. They'd like to put out more games in general. They're basically recognizing that a 6 to 7 year development time is too long to wait for the next game in the hot franchise that you like. For example, this was directly asked during this call that he had with shareholders. Why did a new 2D Super Mario Brothers game take over 10 years to happen in Super Mario Brothers Wonder? All right. Well, one of the other executives actually countered. This was Takashi Tezuka. He says, well, actually, we did have Mario Maker and we did have Super Mario Odyssey and other Mario games during that time frame. So it's not like we just abandoned Mario for over 10 years. But the point remains that, yes, in order to get these new franchise installments out, it's taking forever. I mean, Super Mario Odyssey was essentially a close to launch title for the Switch. And that was, 7 years ago? And have we seen another 3D Mario game since? No, we saw a remake, Super Mario 3D World Remake. But we haven't seen a new 3D Mario game at all. Why not? Where are they? People want them. I mean, Odyssey sold. Why wouldn't you have another one? I think the rare exception would have been Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Why? Same engine. It's literally the same game twice. They even reused the same goddamn map. So they were able to pump out another one fast. While in other cases, when they're going from the ground up, it's taking them like a 7+ year development cycle. So I kind of get it. I understand what they're saying. And here's the thing. by no means am I complaining. When these first-party Nintendo titles come out, these things are polished up the ass. These things are beautiful experiences, you know? Likely when the next Mario Kart comes out, it's going to be like the best driving game ever when it comes to like arcadey style, kart style gameplay. I mean, they haven't had one since the fucking Wii game, right? The last one was a remake, or excuse me, that one was just the Wii U one. That, you know, there was no Switch exclusive one. So it'll be great. And, you know, I fully believe the next Mario game will be amazing, but it takes so long. You know, how long are you going to wait? A human can only live a certain amount of time, right? I'm a lifelong fan of Mario. I want more Mario. And you take so long to get it, you know? So they're saying they're going to maybe scale down and do more AA rather than all AAA experiences. That's interesting. I'm curious how that will be implemented, honestly. Here's an interesting story. I found this one interesting. So former Rockstar Game, you know, like CEO and co-founder Dan Houser. He's no longer with the company, correct? I think he left. But when he was asked, why didn't you ever do any movies for your popular properties? For example, Grand Theft Auto was all the rage in the 2000s and the 2010s, right? Red Dead Redemption exploded in popularity in the 2010s. Didn't you ever think of doing like movies for those? Because don't you think that they would have done well, being that those games have such great narratives, right? So here's how he responded. It's this simple. He didn't want to have lack of creative control over their IPs. His direct quote, they thought that we'd be blinded by the lights, but the risk never made sense. Since we wouldn't have creative control, you know, chances were that those franchises would end up being changed or kind of bastardized in some way in order to translate them to the movie medium. And he didn't want that to end up sucking. For example, he says most video game adaptations at that time, we're talking, you know, early 2010s, were very poor quality. We didn't have some of the more modern live action video game movies now that have actually been exceptionally good. And he felt that it wasn't worth risking multi-billion-dollar IPs and then having them look like jokes in front of millions of people worldwide just because they wanted to make a buck. But he is stated in saying, you know, times are different now. Now, think of the last couple of years, Super Mario movies, Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and now we've got all these other movies coming at this point, video game related, and now we got TV shows, video game related, right? We got all this stuff. So it's a different time, and he feels like maybe now it could be done, but of course he's not with the company anymore, right? So it's not his call. Okay, speaking of movies, Sony is currently producing a live-action Street Fighter movie. Now, we have very limited information about it. At first, it was supposed to be directed by this one group of people, but apparently they've dropped out. We don't know what's going on with it right now. However, the targeted release is March 20th, 2026. We have no information on cast, plot, anything. I mean, with Street Fighter, it could be anything. It could be the original Street Fighter tournament for Street Fighter 1. It could be Street Fighter 2. It could be modern Street Fighter. Like, we don't even know what it would be. We have so many Street Fighter games that the plot of this movie could be any mishmash of any of it, right? So we don't know what hell it's going to be, how dramatic it'll be, or if it'll be based more on combat. Can you imagine? All I'll say is every attempt to do a Street Fighter movie has not gone so well. All right? I don't know realistically how they're going to do this or pull it off. But all I got to say is they got to have Van Damme in there with a cameo. You know, whether or not he's Guile or not, they got to have Van Damme in there and have some kind of a cameo appearance. It would be absolutely great. And they should somehow do a tribute to Raul Julia. I don't know how they would do it. Maybe just have him in the background on a picture or something, or statue of him in the background. But they absolutely should do something like that. Anyway, yeah, more information on that, hopefully, but it's in development and no one knows much about it yet. Interestingly enough, now we're going to talk about, well, hold on. One other story before we get to PC-related stuff. Concord. Remember that game that they just showed off at the digital event about a month ago? And everyone was like, what the hell is this? Because no one was expecting this game, Concord. And then immediately following Concord, they actually showed the new Marvel game that's similar to Overwatch. And they're like, well, the Marvel game looks better than Concord, so why does this Concord game even exist? So anyway, this Concord game that apparently is going to play like Overwatch is going to have an open beta running from July 18th to the 21st free for all players. Early access begins the 12th to 14th. Who knows what the fuck that means? So, the full game has 16 playable heroes, 12 maps, and 6 modes. Post-launch content will have seasons, but they claim they'll be fully free. You'll have single life and respawn modes as well as the, standard respawn like Overwatch play. Movement is floaty, reminiscent of Destiny or Halo, as opposed to a tight-knit movement shooter. You're like floating around shooting things in the air. Most characters have a double jump mechanic. Some have a triple jump or an action-based dodge mechanic. Heroes have 2 abilities and a passive skill, but there are no ultimates in the game as of now. Each free gunner has a unique weapon and a health pool. And before a match, you have to select a small crew of heroes to choose from. You can only swap to those during the game. So I don't know what that means. It's a little weird. I don't understand what they mean by that. Anyway, we'll know more about this game in mid to late July. If you guys are interested in seeing me play the beta, please remind me of this as it's coming up. They said open beta is the 18th to the 21st. I'm not going to try to get into the early beta from the 12th to the 14th, I'll be honest. But since it is free, maybe I would give it a shot. And I'd be interested in that. I don't know. It's free. Just do a stream of it just to see what the hell it says, right? So let me know. And then 2 other stories today, both PC related. The first is that the Riven remake just went on sale the other day, actually. It went on sale on June 25th, and that's how I got wind of it. We had actually watched the trailer for it a couple weeks ago on my React show. And it came out, and people are saying it's great. They're actually really, really liking the Riven remake on PC. But the weirdest thing, just listen to this. If you buy the Riven remake on PC right now, it's on a 10% discount, $31.49. It's not bad for a modern remake. Full price is actually $35, so you get a few bucks off. But if you buy a bundle of the original game Riven and the Riven remake together on Steam, it's only $30.49. So you actually save $1 by buying an additional game. So I'm just throwing that out there. For those of you who are interested in getting the new Riven game, buy the bundle. Don't buy the standard game. I'm going to buy the bundle. Unless over this weekend, there's an overwhelming demand that I don't play it. I think I definitely want to play it on Monday night. So I'm going to probably get the bundle and start playing it Monday night on the mini PC. And hopefully it runs well, and we'll see, But I'm excited for this. Myst was really, really good. I loved Myst. So Riven should also be good. Of course, I'm going to get stumped on puzzles and stuff, and I'm going to need help. And it's fine. I'm not looking to sit here and, master 1990s point-and-click adventure games with crazy puzzles. It's more to chill and relax and have a good time together. Yes, I will honestly give it a shot to try to solve the puzzles. But if I get stumped, I'm totally okay with people helping me out. Okay? So, I'm excited for that. And then last story, and this one is actually interesting. Apparently, Hori, the same company that makes arcade joysticks, the same company that makes game pads, right, for consoles. Hell, I have the Hori attachment right now on my Switch. So they have made a specialized controller for integration with Steam on the PC. This controller has 4 extra buttons as opposed to the standard button layout that you would get on like a normal controller. It actually has 4 more buttons that are supposed to be mapped to features exclusively for PC. It has Bluetooth capabilities, X input and direct input. Don't ask me what that means because I have no idea. It actually has a touch sensor and a gyroscope. Now, I don't know how many games on Steam would actually make use of that. I don't know about motion control games on Steam, but the thing is right now, if you use like the Xbox gamepad, it doesn't have any of that stuff. So it's, base gamepad, but nothing else. And a lot of people are using Xbox gamepad on Steam right now. So basically, this is like a step up. However, no vibration or haptics and no microphone included. People are looking at it like it actually looks pretty interesting. And by the way, Hori, usually their controllers aren't that expensive. So they haven't announced the actual pricing yet, but it looks like a pretty good controller if you're someone who plays PC games exclusively on Steam and, you want a controller for it. You don't want to just use the base Xbox gamepad, but maybe something that has some extra capabilities. The gamepad looks pretty solid. I'm playing games regularly on PC now. It's something that maybe I would consider in the future, right? Anyway, so there you go. All right, so folks, that was a lot of news, and we covered it all. What a podcast we have had so far today, right? We have covered Bison We have covered my day off. We have covered politics. And we have covered a ridiculous amount of gaming news stories. What I will do now is get into shout outs. Thank you to the couple people here who have already contributed. Remember, you know the deal with my streams. My goal is to hit $50 in tips by the end of any given stream. Then I consider it a good one. It would be great to have a well-supported stream as the first one back from break. Let's start. Spawn Killer did a super chat and says, would you ever go back to Disney Dreamlight Valley? No, and there's a good reason why. All right, it's not that I don't like Disney Dreamlight Valley. I found it very relaxing for the time that we played it. The problem was, if you didn't remember, I'm not the kind of guy that has time to daily do grinding in a game like that, okay? And what we found is once you hit a certain point in Disney Dreamlight Valley, the game is literally expecting you to play it every day. Like, if you play it every day for like an hour and a half, you could do all the daily grind shit the game wants you to do, the daily objectives, get the daily currency that you need to make progress in the game. The problem was, I wasn't playing it every day. I was playing it maybe every 2-3 days for a couple of hours at night, and that's not enough to do the daily tasks to even unlock the areas of the game. Like, I was locked out of areas because I didn't play it enough to earn the currency. It would have taken weeks to months to unlock a new area, and it didn't make sense. Unless I was going to sit there and dump money into the game to buy the stuff, right, which I wasn't going to do. There really was no way to make progress without spending active time every single day booting it up and playing it. It was the very same reason my wife dumped it. She really liked it. She had it and was playing it way more than me. She got to a certain point, she's like, nah, it's just too much of it every day. Got to grind, do the same boring shit in order to go to the next part. So she stopped it too, you know? So it is what it is. It's just, in my opinion, it's a decent game for when it was out. But here we are like 2 years later. I have absolutely no desire to go back to it. Lutace did a super chat and says, might as well use a PS5 controller. It's better for Steam. I was not even aware that if you just plug a PS5 controller into a PC that it would work. You know, I didn't know that. For me personally, no, I prefer the feel of the Xbox controller to the feel of a PS5 controller. So I would want to use one that's of that design. Excuse me, man, my throat. Sorry about the frog in my throat. So, yeah, if you were to ask me right now, which controller would you prefer to play a game with? Xbox. I like the feel of it. I like the positioning of the thumbsticks. I like the triggers better. Like, I like everything about the Xbox controller better. I really do. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to use PS5 on PC if I could, if I could avoid it. Okay. I received the first tip of the day. I received an $8 tip from Nico the Gamer, and they have something to say about Dark Souls. So let's get the first animation of the week on stream here. Excuse me. Thank you very much to Nico. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so Nico says the following. Good day, Phil and everyone. I just started playing Dark Souls for the first time. I'm getting my ass kicked. I see no hope. Everything is just stained in blood. Huge props to you for not only coming back, but becoming fluent in the nightmarish gameplay. You asked the 8-Ball if I'll beat Dark Souls. Have a great day. Oh, the 8-Ball has been retired for a year. The 8-Ball stopped working last year. We don't have it anymore. Sadly, I haven't had like any kind of a mechanic to replace it. We've talked about it. Like in OBS, there's certain things you can do. There's a wheel you could spin that like will show up on screen. But I haven't implemented anything new because I'm basically kind of at the end of my rope here with this PC. I'm going to, like I said, in late July, early August, at some point, I'm going to migrate over to my wife's PC. Once I do that, likely then I will look to do some more things integrated. And maybe that will be one of the things I do. Maybe integrate a wheel spin or a die roll or something like that for a tip like this. All I will say is this. I think everyone can persevere in Dark Souls as long as they research. Now, you may not be a kind of person that likes to research to play a video game, and if that's the case, I'll be honest with you, Dark Souls ain't for you. When I first started to play it myself, and I tried to understand the systems and all the parts of it without any help, and I just tried to kind of wing it, it was like a nightmare. It was like being tortured. because the game really doesn't explain much at all. You don't know where to go. You don't know what you're supposed to do. The gameplay is not easy to figure out. The thing is, once you learn the core mechanics of a FromSoft game, the bonfire / save point system, right? How to level, how the equipment works, how the combat works with either dodging or rolling, blocking, parrying, light attacks, heavy attacks, combos, special attacks. You know, I keep going. You know, the soul system, the boss system, the boss souls system that you use to get special weapons and abilities and items, because they're all the same. All of them are pretty much almost identical when it comes to the way that these games work, right? Once you get the basics down, then it's just about learning the variables for each franchise, whether it's Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, or Elden Ring. But once you figure the basics out, which could take a while and can be frustrating, it's very rewarding. Once you understand the systems, if then you take the time to go and actually enjoy all the work that they've put into all their games, you'll likely really enjoy them, because that's exactly what happened. When I started, I was upset. I didn't like it. I was like, dude, it's too cryptic. I'm not someone who wants to sit here studying in order to play your goddamn video game. Your video game, it's you know, it's the modern day. Your video game should at least make some effort to try to teach the player how to play it, right? So I was pretty upset at Dark Souls at first. Once, essentially, I had a guided tour of how Dark Souls worked. You know, I had summons showing me where to go during live streaming. And I saw the amount of content, the variety of content, the excellent bosses, and all this stuff. Then I was like, dude, I totally want to immerse myself in this and learn it. So I played Demon Souls. I did a redemption run in Dark Souls 1. I played Dark Souls 2 when it was new. And I played Bloodborne. I kept going. Now I love them, you know? I really do. I really love the games that FromSoft comes out with. So, yeah, I would say don't give up. Yes, you will likely have to study and research. It's okay to use online guides. It's okay to use any game mechanic necessary to win. Once you actually beat the game in one method, you might want to go back and beat it in a different method to actually see how a different experience it feels. Like, for example, using melee in these games is very different than using magic. It almost feels like you're playing two different games in a lot of cases. So, just something to throw out there. But I feel like if you dedicate enough time and effort and you study up, you'll get it. And that's okay. You don't have to beat it by yourself. There's no one who's going to measure your performance, right? And grade you and be like, oh, you summoned, you looked up half the stuff in the game, D-. No one's going to do that. No one cares. You play it by your own means. You enjoy it, right? And then if you want to challenge yourself and go back later on and play it in a different method, do that too. But I feel like people should just enjoy it first and foremost, right? Okay. All right, fair enough. Now, I got through all the shout-outs that I have so far. As I said, guys, it would be great to have a well-supported stream, so please support the Elden Ring stream today. You know, again, hitting the tier 1 tips goal is what I'm looking for. Anything else on top of that is greatly, greatly appreciated, so thank you in advance to anyone who supports. I'm now going to open up the chat to some Q&A. So if you want to talk, tag me in the chat. If any contributions come in, I'll shout them out, and we'll go from there. How about a summer barbecue stream? Well, the problem with that would be I don't have a barbecue. I can't do summer barbecue. The only thing we can do is like slow cooker foods, which we've done before. You know, toss them in there with barbecue or something. Or order barbecue food from a place that does barbecue. Have I ever considered playing simulator games like Cooking Simulator? No. I've played Flight Simulator, and that was super chill and fun, right? But outside of that, no, I've never really considered others. I tried the demo of Power Washer Simulator, and everyone was like, nah. And I was like, but why not? It looks fun. Everyone was like, nah. So I never played it again. Jade, how are you today? Welcome to the stream. I'm looking well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My allergies are killing me. My nose itches, and my chin right now itches because of my allergies. So you notice why I'm touching my face a lot? It's because of my fucking allergies. So my whole face is itching. I didn't take any allergy medication today. I might have to if my face continues to itch like this. This is pissing me off. I hate this shit. Have I learned any mine combos for Bison? The thing with Bison is when you hit someone with a mine, all right, now it is your job to get a second hit so that you can finish with EX Cycle Crusher. because that's how you get the bonus damage for the mine. There's other ways as well. Like, for example, if you hit them with the aerial fadeaway punch, I don't know what they call it in this, Devil's Reverse, I think. You hit them with the Devil's Reverse, it gets a mine explosion in it, which causes a juggle state. So you can hit them with a scissor kick or a super after, which is really cool, off of just a random Devil Reverse. But yeah, so far, the best Bisons, what they're doing, they hit you with the mine, then they keep the pressure on, they try to get a combo in the corner. If they land it, the EX Psycho Crusher, and from there, depending on how much meter use you have, you can either do an insanely super extended combo or a pretty decent length extended combo, either again into the hands to get the next mine laid, or into level 3 super. So, what's up, Game Boy? How are you today? Welcome. Richard, how are you? Welcome. How do I like the lore for Shadow of the Erdtree so far? It's awful. We're, what, 15 hours in? I don't have no clue what I'm doing. I mean, I'm guessing, based on speculation of people online, and just of the minimum lore that's been in the game, it's very cryptic, and I have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Again, the lore will be good once it's exposed, but for now, 15 hours in, I have no fucking clue what's going on. And I'm paying attention, too, and I still have no fucking clue what's going on. Dentronic says, I feel like M. Bison's modern outfit is trash. They missed the mark. The thing is, they were going for a story. I don't think they really cared as much about the appearance as the story. And the story is that he's lost his memories. And, you know, somehow he's still alive because supposedly he died at the end of Street Fighter V. So how the hell is he alive in Street Fighter 6? It doesn't make sense. Keep in mind, timeline-wise, it's Street Fighter V, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 6. You understand that? So basically, there was a whole iteration of Street Fighter where Bison was missing. Everyone knew he was dead. And now Street Fighter 6, supposedly, he just comes out of nowhere and he's still alive, but he's like lost his memory, his cape's all torn up and shit. So who knows? But I agree with you. I like the classic outfit. I'm gonna keep going with the classic outfit for now, for sure. Yes, I'm reading Item and Remember subscriptions. They don't really explain much, but eventually I'm sure they will. Yes, there's tons of Teslas in our area. We've seen them. Keep in mind, we live in green hipster country out here. So everyone literally thinks they're hip and cool if they have a Tesla. It's like, you do realize it's the most copycat, non-original thing you can do to buy a Tesla. It essentially just says that you're a fucking brainless follower. But they don't care. They actually believe that it's cool out here to have a Tesla. And then they can't charge it anywhere because all the charging stations have the cables torn out and stolen. I'm not kidding. It's actually a rampant epidemic. They started installing all these electric charging stations here in Washington State to prepare for all these electric cars. They're all vandalized, every one of them. The cable's ripped out and people are selling them. So no one can charge their electric cars. Oh, let's see. Oh, my nose. I'm sorry, guys. My nose really itches today. It's really bothering me. I might have to take a pill. This is pissing me off. I've gotten a $2 tip. Your idea of a Lego stream got me thinking how far off this would be in the future. What about a PC building stream? I already told you guys, no, I don't think I'm going to ever do a PC building stream because, number one, I don't know enough about modern PCs to accurately build a PC. And number two, I want to build one. If I'm going to buy one, I want to build one that's pre-made, so if it doesn't work, I got a warranty and I can fix it. Now, I bought all the components. I build it, and it's fucked up. And now I'm responsible for this piece of junk, right? That would just be what would happen. I go to build it. I do something wrong. I damage it, and now I'm fucked out of thousands of dollars. I'm not going to do that. I'm absolutely going to buy a pre-built no matter what. I was a hobby enthusiast of PCs back in the 2000s. I built 3 custom PCs, 2 of which I had networked in my parents' house at one point, playing Unreal Tournament games over the LAN and shit. It was very fun to do back in the day. I have zero desire to become a PC builder and enthusiast again. I just don't care. Okay? Jared, thank you for 24 months as a member, earning your rose gold crown here on the channel. Would you do a Trump and Biden DSP Reacts debate? No. I've already said my piece on the debate. I have nothing else to say about it. It's on this podcast. It's done, and now we move on to games. What are my favorite pizza toppings? All depends. It depends on the combination. Like, for example, usually I want something that's acidic, like a tomato, right? Or another vegetable like a pepper or something like that. That's really good. But sometimes you want something that's just savory, like a pepperoni with a little bit of spice, right? I think sausage could be good on a pizza as long as it's not a crazy, overpowering, greasy, or spicy sausage. Um, Olives with the vinegary taste cut the flavor of everything else that's on the pizza and really stand out. I've had a really good Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple. That can work if you have a pizza that's based on that and has the balance right. That could actually work. I've had delicious veggie pizzas that have worked. I've had pizza with clams on it, and that worked too. Clams Casino pizza, I've had that. So it all depends. There's lots of things that go well on pizza. I'm good, Jade, except my allergies are bothering me. I put eye drops in, so my eyes are fine, but now my face is itching. So I don't know what I should do, if I should go take a medicine or not. I'm debating. Lady Charisma says, modern PCs are like building Legos. If you follow the instructions, it's rare something would mess up. But yeah, but again, the point I'm making here is, when you buy a Lego set, right? What are you spending? Anywhere between $20 to $100. If it fucks up, it's not the end of the world. If you buy a fucking modern PC with all of its components and you fuck up, you've wasted thousands of dollars, and now you have to figure out what went wrong. You probably got to take it to a professional. It's not worth it. There's a difference between, oh, I'm a hobbyist and I spend a little bit of money to mess with something, versus, oh, I'm an enthusiast who just spent thousands of dollars to build this thing and now it's not working right. You know, that's the problem. If it wasn't expensive, I wouldn't care. It's too fucking expensive to fuck around. I don't know. Clyde says, what is the obsession with building your own PC? I really don't know. I don't see what the big deal is. What's the difference between I ordered it, it showed up, I took it out of the box, I turned it on, it works. Now I just set it up and I'm good within like a few hours, versus I sit here building the fucking thing piece by piece in order to save like $300, right? Like, I don't get it. I don't. Because I've done it before. And like I said, the reason I like to do it, it was my hobby. It was like a nice hobby to have outside of competitive Street Fighter. It was a hobby to build the PCs. It was neat to learn the components and where everything goes. And, you know, this is the power source for this. This is how you hook this up. This is where you place this. It was fun. It was interesting. And you can figure it after. I don't have time for a hobby right now. I don't. I don't have fucking time for that bullshit. Don't want to be a hobbyist or enthusiast of PCs. I just want to use them to do other things. You understand? For me, the PC is a means to an end. It's not a collector's item that I can stare at and be like, "Oh, look what I built." I don't care. I don't give two shits about that. The Gamer says, make it a segment called Phil the Builder. You can do Lego, origami, IKEA furniture, and puzzles. There you go. Well, as we said, I have absolutely no intention or money to buy any PC right now. And some people are like, oh, go Starforge. No. Where are you getting this from? I explained to you guys, here's what we're doing. In late July, early August, one of these times, I'm migrating from my 10-year-old PC to my wife's PC from 2017 that has literally sat in her office for 3 years untouched. Okay? It's nearly new. It's like new. Has much better components in it. All right? It's going to be a smoother run. It runs on Windows 10. I'll be able to use Steam Deck or Stream Deck. I keep getting them confused. I'll be able to use Stream Deck. I'll be able to use other things integrated in that I can't do. I can upgrade all my fucking programs. I haven't been able to upgrade OBS in like a year, you know? So there you go. That's what we're doing. I'm not buying any new PC or anything anytime soon. Well, I stream the migration. That would be rough, because how can I stream something that I can't stream? The whole idea is that I'm setting up the new PC. If it's not set up to stream, how could I stream that to you? Right? I don't have a great webcam. This is, it's 1080p, but it's not great quality. No, I wouldn't be able to program or hang that out at an angle and show you what I'm doing. It would look like shit. Plus, let's be honest. When you're setting up something, do you want everyone seeing your settings and everyone and fucking with your personal shit? No, of course not. What we will do is we'll do test streams and stuff, Well, I'll probably have both PCs working at one time. And then we could say, okay, guys, I'm going to go offline on this PC. All right. And now we're going to go online on the other PC. And we're going to test out the settings and see how this works and go from there. You know what I'm saying? What is the current capture card I'm using? The Avermedia GC553 Live Gamer Ultra. There it is. Yep. That is what I'm using. Oh my God. Yes, Jade, I know you're not a fan of Elden Ring. I'm glad you came by to say hi, and I will see you tonight for Bison. Sounds good. Am I going to keep both PCs in my room? The idea is that once the new one works, I don't use the old one anymore. I don't think I'm going to be doing dual streaming of two PCs next to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know. There's been some debate. Someone's like, why don't you play a game on your old PC and stream it on the new one? I'm like, what are you, crazy? Like, the old PC can barely, it ain't going to play a game well. Trust me, you know? But that's the whole point, is to move on. The whole point is to move on from the old PC and get into the new one. And at least that's going to give me some longevity for several more years until maybe down the road I can afford the new PC. You know, a good one. Goldfish, both PCs are old. He says, what about one PC to record, one to play the games? They're both old. The point is, my 10-year-old PC is starting to have issues. Half the fans on it have died. Okay? It makes fucking noise when it operates. The hard drive has corruption on it. Sometimes it has a whole sector that's corrupted. And when I try to record videos for like, 3 weeks in a row, I'll keep getting corrupted videos once a stream. I mean, I can keep going on with the problems that I'm starting to have with this. It's getting old. It's 10 years old. It's reaching the end of its life expectancy. I'm not going to now do a setup. Hey, let's do one dual PC streaming. The thing doesn't fucking work. It's dying. The whole point is to retire it. You sent me a tip, Abdullah. Thank you. I'll check it out. I don't see that yet. Oh, maybe I did get it. Hold on. Thank you. I just got it. Thank you, Abdullah, for a $5 tip. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I will tell you this, guys. This capture card, this capture device I've been using for the last month, it's super good, right? Have you guys seen the dramatic difference in my quality? Street Fighter videos all of a sudden have zero blur to them. They're insanely sharp. Elden Ring looks insanely good. You could freeze frame any frame of my videos, and they all look ultra detailed now. Like, they just look super fucking good. So I am incredibly pleased with this capture device. The best one I've ever had by far. Am I excited for Black Ops 6? I'm excited for Black Ops 6 just on the fact that I get to play it at 120 hertz. Seriously. Like, I feel like I'm going to have the best response time ever of any game I've ever played, FPS. Probably full 60, if not 120 frames. My TV supports that. So I'm very excited to see how this game will run. Even if the game doesn't play that well, I think to have the most responsive ever FPS is going to be a neat thing for me, to get used to that performance. Thank you. I agree. Dabhan says, yes, the quality on 1080p 60 frames has been beautiful. The best videos I've ever put out by far. This capture device is outstanding. I only wish that I had adapted it sooner. I didn't know that it worked. Like, who knew that that would have worked with my super outdated PC? But it does. It works beautifully. No, I doubt I'm playing zombies, but I'll probably do the campaign and the multiplayer, because the campaign will probably be good. The Black Ops campaigns usually are good. There's a couple exceptions, but mostly they're good, and this one seems to be a tie-in to the old game, So I'll probably do the single player, and I'll probably do the multiplayer. Out of all the games for the rest of the year, what am I most excited for? Well, you know me. I only talk about games that have solid release dates. If it doesn't have a release date, I'm not going to mention it. So, for example, I'd probably say Avowed, as well as, like Dragon Age, I'd say, but they don't have release dates, right? So, I mean, let's be honest here. Let's take a look at all the games coming out for the rest of the year. Black Myth Wukong, maybe Star Wars Outlaws. The Astrobot game, actually, I think will be quite good. Metaphor, if I can play it. Black Ops 6, I'm excited to just try it with my new setup. And probably Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, honestly. I mean, there's a bunch of other games in between there that are going to be fine games, but, you know, those are the ones I'm probably most focused on right now. Nah, Metaphor is not going to be day one Game Pass. Don't even get that thought in your head. They're going to charge for it. Derp says higher frame rate should have been prioritized by game developers over 4K. That's the biggest misstep of the last decade. And I'll agree. I mean, take a look at a game like Fallout 4. It actually runs for me 4K 60 frames on the Xbox Series X, okay? Is there an increase in quality between 1080p and 4K? Yes, but it's negligible. It really isn't that big of a deal. I would much rather care about the higher frame rates than this insipid little increase in detail. You know what I mean? I played Street Fighter 6 at 4K. It looked exactly the same as 1080p. It really did. It didn't look any different to me. It looked like the same exact game. So, I really don't think that the 4K thing is a big deal. I do think the frame rate and hertz, the refresh rate and the frame rate should have been prioritized over resolution. Yeah, we have a Fire TV stick downstairs in the living room. And yes, I'm aware that Xbox is claiming they're going to launch an app sometime this month. We're going to be able to play Xbox games on your Fire TV stick with no console. That's what they're saying. You want to know the funny part about that? The Fire TV stick is not a fast device at all. The Fire TV stick actually is, like, clunky and bloated. When they update it, they always put in this fucking nonsense. Like, there's always ads, and there's always, like, shit you don't want cluttering it. And sometimes just moving around the menus, it's incredibly fucking slow. So I don't know how they think you're going to game on the Fire TV stick. I really don't. Like, I've owned two different ones. Basically, what you have to do is, like, every couple years, you have to buy a new one. Because if you don't, it ends up being slow and outdated and running like shit. Even if it's not broken, it just runs like crap. Good news is the Fire TV stick isn't expensive. It's like, what, like $30, $40 or something like that? But I don't know how they actually believe people are going to game on that thing when it half the time lags in menus to play a fucking TV show. I really don't understand what they're getting at there. No, Jade, no Jasper Kitty today. Sorry, Jade. Not unless he's right outside. Nope. He's not up here. If he was up here, I actually would have called him in. He's not upstairs. Dapian says, are there any games you missed growing up you wish you played when everyone else did? For him, it was Metal Gear Solid 4 because you didn't have a PS3 at the time. The thing is, I've had the chance to play them. Like, most of the games during the PS2 era. The PS2 era was the era I heavily skipped games because I was just playing competitive Street Fighter. I was a PC enthusiast playing, like, PC games at the time. I didn't play consoles that much at that time. A lot of those franchises I missed, I've played. I've played all the GTAs. I played the Jak and Daxters, the Ratchet and Clanks, right? All the ones that were like the very notable games from that time period had modern re-releases in HD or whatever, and I've ended up playing those games. I feel like there's very few notable games of that era that I've really missed out on. So, no, honestly. And it still seems like they still have the ability to play that stuff, so. Expand Dog says, Atlas hasn't struck down streamers in years. To combat the misinfo, they tweet every time they release a game to confirm, yes, you can stream it. They did it for P3 Reload. Well, that makes me feel a little better, right? That at least makes me feel a little better about Metaphor. I seriously want to play Metaphor. I was nervous about it. So, was the NES 60 frames per second? Depended on the game. Many games did run at 60 frames on NES, but some did not. Some were choppy. It depended on the game. Jade says Sly. That's right. The Sly Cooper trilogy, right? Those are from PS2 era. I played all of those. Exactly. I never played Final Fantasy 12. I owned it. I grinded in it for like 20 hours. I hated the story. I never played it again. So maybe that would be a playthrough for the future to replay the modern version of that. Yeah, Lost Odyssey playthrough when? I don't know. I would love to do it. I would love to do it, but it seems like this is not the time on a year when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth tanked, Dragon's Dogma tanked, right? I want to do Mario and the Thousand Year Door, and I'm actually skeptical about that. I'm holding that back, right? I don't really think it's time for Lost Odyssey all of a sudden out of the blue. Yes, I remember the Twisted Metal games. I never owned one, but I rented several of them and liked them very much. I thought that they were neat fun during that 90s edgy attitude era of everything had to be gory and adult-oriented, right? They were quite good games for that time. Well, now Sarah says, Atlas West tells streamers it's okay to stream their games, but Atlas Japan still strikes down streamers. So what is the truth here? Is the truth that everyone can play these games, or are people having problems? I need to know. I genuinely need to know, or else I'm just going to give Metaphor a skip, which I don't want to do. I need to know what's really going on here. Yeah, I have Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster, and I swear to you I will play that one day. I absolutely want to. I can't wait to see how they've redone the graphics and the music for it. Oh, man. All right, guys. Have we covered the bases here? Have we thoroughly had a fun podcast? Can we get set up here? Oh, I don't know. I'm not, guys, I already told you, I'm not following the Dr. Disrespect shit anymore. I'm not. I don't really care anymore. At this point, I said my piece. I'm done with it. Yeah, someone just said, oh, was he banned from YouTube yesterday? I don't know. I don't care. I don't know if anything further happened with him. I'm not following the stuff anymore. You guys tell me. I'm not going to be reporting on that. I already said my piece twice. That's enough for me. I'm not into that drama shit. So I felt like I needed to talk about it at the time when I did, because this was a story we followed 4 years ago or 3 years ago or whatever it was. It was pertinent to me at the time because remember, I got kicked out of the Twitch partner program around the same time. But outside of that, I have nothing really else to say. I don't know what you mean. I don't know if he's banned from YouTube or not. I don't know if he's banned from, I mean, we know he's banned from Twitch. I don't know what's going on with that. You guys tell me. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up either. Okay. All right, is it time to wrap it up? Get set up for Elden Ring here. Yes? Yes, hello? I didn't get banned from Twitch. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been banned from Twitch. Oh, you're wondering why I'm streaming on YouTube and not Twitch? Because Twitch is a horrible place to stream for many, many reasons. I just got tired of being treated unprofessionally over there. Like, the last straw for me was they basically they said they banned me temporarily, said I said something on stream, then I said no I didn't, fix this immediately. They reviewed the situation, says, "Oh, you never said that. Sorry, it's our mistake," and unbanned me. And I said, "I'm not going to deal with a company that's going to do that." That's so unprofessional that someone had a rumor or something that I said something on a stream that I never did. And then when they actually looked into it, they realized it never happened. Oh, sorry about that. We'll unban you after the fact. Like, no, sorry, I'm not gonna be there. I'm out of there. That was the tipping point for me. Okay, let's end the show. What a show! What a packed show, right? All right. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here. And I hope that you enjoyed the Return podcast. It is now time to begin with Elden Ring for the stream. And also, of course, tonight, Friday Night Fights and more Bison. I hope you guys will be around all day for the challenging gameplay. It's going to be a fun one. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here on the show. Thanks very much. Tomorrow I'll tell you how it all went and more on the Level 1 podcast. I'll see you then.